Hey everyone, what is going on? So we are back on pvpoke.com. I will link their website in the description down below, so definitely check them out for all your PvP information, all your raid information, and everything else Pokemon Go related. But we are talking about if your community should run the Twilight Cup. A lot of you seemed to have liked the Boulder Cup video, so we are doing it with every single cup. I'll probably even do it with the Jungle Cup, but maybe next month or something. But let's take a look and see what it says. So for the Twilight Cup, you're allowed to use Dark, Ghost, Fairy, and Poison types. So it says key changes. Acid Spray will keep everyone on their toes. So that is true. Acid Spray was not available when the original Twilight Cup existed. So we'll have to see how it affects this Twilight Cup, if people will use it. And then it says Charm Togekiss gets to be the fairy that Togetic always wanted to be, and Earth Power makes Nidoqueen more viable. So Nidoqueen and Earthquake is a Pokemon I never even considered before. I totally forgot that it got Earth Power, but I do think it will be good now. So let's see what it says. It says Twilight Cup should look mostly familiar. There aren't many big new players, but the old ones have some new tricks. During Twilight Cup, stat boosts were just becoming a thing and Silver Wind was all the rage. Now it's joined by Acid Spray, which throws a curveball at the entire cup. Tentacruel can now bait shields, making it even more potent than before, and Alolan Muck is strongly positioned in the Dark Poison category with hit-and-run tactics. Acid Spray could be devastating when paired with high damage moves like Razor Leaf or Charm. Acid Spray is also an option on Quillfish, especially in the lead position, but some may prefer Sludge Wave to target Azumarill. So many Twilight Cup rosters were hungry for a fairy fast move, and now we have it. Togekiss stands out with coverage moves against Golbat, Venomoth, and Venusaur. Charm also shreds through the Twilight staple Toxicroak, but watch out for Sludge Bomb. Granbull and Gardevoir are also on the table if you want to avoid rock or ice weaknesses, but come with their own drawbacks as well. Charm uses could potentially be used in place of traditional Toxicroak counters like Golbat and Venomoth thanks to their strength against dark types. Consider your team and coverages carefully. Lastly, while Nidoqueen was more of a B-team option for those without Toxicroak, Earth Power gives it some more oomph this time around. It's more capable of taking out poison types in shielded scenarios now, and Stone Edge continues to give it viable coverage, perhaps worth considering. So that's an interesting read, and now we're going to go ahead and see what we have going for us for the lead Pokemon and the best Pokemon. So it recommends Golbat with Wing Attack, Poison Fang, and Shadow Ball. Now, Golbat is a Pokemon that existed back then as well, and most people used it. I actually went with Crobat instead, but Golbat is better. I don't know why I went for Crobat. I think it was because I had one. I just happened to have one at like 1479, I think, or some around that point. So I just had one for the Great League, whereas I may have had a Golbat, but it was much lower. So I just didn't invest in it. But Golbat is definitely the way to go, and you want that one. Poison Fang will be hitting those fairy types. This is nothing new. This hasn't changed. Wing Attack can counter Venomoth as well. Venomoth is strong against Golbat, but Golbat is also strong against Venomoth, so it's kind of like an even trade-off. And then Umbreon with Snarl and Foul Play, as well as Last Resort. Now, Umbreon is probably the best Dark type, and I would recommend a Dark type in this cup as well. So that's a good way to go. You also have Alolan Raticate if you have Bite on it, but Umbreon is definitely a way to go if you have Last Resort, so you could hit those ghost types. I mean, Alolan Marowak might be good, but then it recommends Tentacruel with Poison Jab, Acid Spray, and Hydro Pump. Now, Acid Spray is new for this cup because it did not exist back then, so I actually lost in my original Twilight Cup to a Tentacruel. I lost to Jokes, ironically, but we played, I don't know if it was the second or third round. My memory is kind of fuzzy, but I did lose to his Tentacruel, and I went 3-1 in that tournament, so I didn't do bad. I got second place, but I ended up losing to a Tentacruel, and it's kind of my fault because I underrated it, so I really didn't think it was that good back then. I was totally wrong. I thought I could beat it with Venomoth. I wasn't able to beat it. But anyway, it's actually better now because it has Acid Spray. I mean, you could still go with Sludge Wave. You don't need Acid Spray, but Acid Spray is definitely good at baiting shields. So It's something worth considering. And then you have Hydro Pump, and I totally agree. So Tentacruel, definitely a solid option. And then we have Tyranitar. Now Tyranitar is a Pokemon I think I tried out in some practice videos, but it's a Pokemon I never actually considered using on my team, mainly because it's weak to that Toxicroak and those fighting moves. That doesn't mean it's bad, right? But yeah, it says it has Smackdown, Crunch, and Stone Edge, so same as usual. And then we have Azumel. I ran that with Bubble, Ice Beam, Play Rough. And here, coming in number 6, is Toxicroak with Counter, Mud Bomb, and Sludge Bomb. Totally recommend the Toxicroak. You have Counter. It's a really solid Pokemon. Venomoth, Confusion, Silverwind, Poison Fang. I didn't have Poison Fang on mine back in the day because I just don't have a Legacy one, so I just only ran one move, Confusion and Silverwind. And Silverwind is definitely a good move. It's definitely a good way to go. If you have the Legacy one, that's what you want though, because Poison Fang does charge up really fast and it could hit those fairy types, so it's definitely a good Pokemon to go with, but you definitely want that Legacy moveset. Frostlass is coming in at number 8 with Powder Snow, Avalanche, and Shadow Ball. I faced quite a bit of those actually in my Twilight Cup originally, but I never used it, but I probably would consider it. It can go after the bats like Golbat and Crobat. And then we have Raticate, as I mentioned. They're recommending Quick Attack, Crunch, and Hyper Fang just because it charges up faster. We have Drapion, Bite, Aqua Tail, Crunch, Skunk Tank, Poison, Jab, Crunch, Sludge Bomb, Muck, Poison Jab, Thunder Punch, Dark Pulse, and then the Alolan Muck, Poison Jab, Dark Pulse, Acid Spray, and then it gets down to Ninetales, Powder Snow, Ice Beam, Psyshock, Wigglytuff, now coming in with that Charm, Ice Beam, and Play Rough. Some of you might have it from the Jungle Cup. Quillfish, I know jokes like to use Quillfish. I never used one, but it has Water Gun, Aqua Tail, and Sludge Wave, so definitely a good way to go. It does get Acid Spray now, so you can totally bluff, you know, if you wanted to go something like Water Gun, Acid Spray, and Aqua Tail. That's probably a good way to go. You could definitely consider that. Then we have Nidoqueen coming in with Poison Jab, Earth Power, and Stone Edge. I would definitely want to try out Nidoqueen. Venusaur, Vine Whip, Frenzy Plant, Return. Interesting. That's because that now Shadow Pokemon can learn Return, so that's actually interesting. I was about to read off Sludge Bomb, but no, it actually says Return, but that's interesting. Then we have Sableye, Haunter, Swallow. So we get into more Pokemon. Clefable with Charm. Crobat's all the way down to number 24, so we'll scroll back up. We'll go back up. And so what Pokemon would I run if we were doing a Twilight Cup? And first and foremost, I do think that the Twilight Cup is going to be one of the more popular ones, even more so than the Boulder Cup, just because I feel like it's more fair in this cup, because if you have the Boulder Cup, Medicham is just going to annoy a lot of people, and Skarmory as well, especially Medicham, so I feel like the Twilight Cup is probably going to be one of the more popular picks in the cup, so should you run it? Most definitely. I mean, I feel like it's going to be a solid cup to participate in. But what would I run as my 6th Pokemon? So I think Golbat, number 1. I think that's one of the number 1 slots. So I would definitely switch out my Crobat for a Golbat if I was to do this tournament with Wing Attack, Poison Fang, and Shadow Ball. So I totally agree with that. You have coverage for the Fairy types. You could even attack those Venomoth. You know, you could do well against Toxicroak, of course, with Wing Attack. Umbreon, I feel like you need one dark Pokemon. I probably wouldn't go with Umbreon just because I don't have Last Resort, but if I did, I would go with Umbreon if you had the Legacy one. I would probably go with Alolan Raticate with Bite, or I'd have to think about it. Probably one of those moves, but Umbreon is definitely a good way to go. So number 2, totally worth it. And then we have Azumel. I would definitely go in with either Azumel or I would go with Wigglytuff with Charm, but I would probably go with Azumel. I feel like Azumel is better. That's what I went with originally. So I would go with Azumel, Golbat, Umbreon. Then Toxicroak is a must. You have to go with Toxicroak. Frostlass, I definitely want to try out for the bat coverage, and then Venomoth. So those 6 Pokemon I would definitely try out, and I might make some adjustments. I might switch something out for Tentacruel. Like if I was to take out Azumel for Wigglytuff, then I would try Tentacruel probably. But yeah, those are the Pokemon I'm looking at mainly. I definitely want to try out Golbat, Umbreon, Azumel, Toxicroak, Venomoth, and Frostlass. So those 6 Pokemon, definitely powerful. Now originally I think I had Drapion, Skunk Tank, and Muck. Alolan Muck. I think I had all 3 of those Pokemon on my team. But formats change, and I feel like these are doing a little bit better. And you have some pretty good coverage. So yeah, those are the Pokemon I'm leaning towards. Frostlass I'm iffy about, but you know, if I was to take a Frostlass, I'd probably just add one of the Poison Dark Pokemon. I mean, Drapion has Bite, so you can go with that instead of Umbreon if you wanted to. But yeah, so that's my opinion. Let me know what you would go with in the Twilight Cup if you were going to have a Twilight Cup. What 6 Pokemon would you pick, and what Pokemon do you want to try out? I'll be trying out some of these Pokemon. As I said, my Venomoth doesn't have Poison Fang, but I'd still use it because I feel like you need a Confusion user against, well, the bats and also Toxicroak. So Toxicroak will still be a big player in this one. But yeah, I do agree that Acid Spray and other stat boosting or lowering Pokemon moves are going to be fantastic. So yeah, that's going to conclude this video. If you liked it and you want me to continue this series, definitely leave a thumbs up and let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, we'll continue with the Tempest Cup next time. And that's going to be it for this one, guys. See you in the next video. Have a good day. Bye. Thank you so much for watching my latest video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter. If you like this video, click on one of the links to check out another one of my videos that you'll probably enjoy.